There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko Table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, everyone. The Yonkō Table is back in session for the finale of the Book of the Mandalorian. That's right. We're here to talk about the Book of Mandalorian. Just kidding. Book of Boba Fett. Or am I kidding? Because there's a little bit of Mandalorian in here. We're going to dive deep into that as always. I'm your Yonko host, DrJaceAttorney, and with me as always is fellow Yonko GrandMasterHoop. Grandmaster, your background, I don't know who that is in the background. Who is that?
It's Boba Fett, man.
That wasn't, why is he here?
Boba Fett, because it's a show that
Incorrect.
I guess the writers just kind of forgot was his show. I don't know, man. Listen, it's his show. Don't play this game, but it is what it is, you know, as far as this weird concept. Let's give Boba Fett a show. But in reality, it's just a continuation of The Mandalorian. So is that what this means for all shows moving forward? I don't know. But listen, I like Boba Fett as a character, and I always will. So screw The Mandalorian. I don't care. Screw
You don't
him.
mean that. You don't mean that.
I mean it.
We'll dive deep for sure. As always, we have Supernovas with us here today, and let's dive deep into it. Finale of Book of Boba Fett. What did you guys think? Did it deliver on what is set up from the beginning? Because from the beginning, we knew it was going to lead up to some all-out warfare, right? We knew there was going to be some grand finale fight at the end, and we more or less got that finale in a way in this episode. Do you guys feel like this final episode, because we don't know if we're going to get a season 2, because I don't even think they've greenlit a season 2 at all, if one's even warranted based on that ending too. But what did you guys think overall of the episode?
Go ahead, take it, Toasty.
Thank you. I was gone for 2 weeks during the best 2 episode, and now I'm back again with disappointment. That's what this episode was.
You were disappointed by the episode?
I was not disappointed by the episode. I was disappointed by Boba Fett whenever he was unseen. Everything that he did was either pure bullshit or it was straight up boring. That's all his character is. Like, it was a pain. It was a pain. This character, like, and yes, we're gonna get a season 2 of this show. It's called The Mandalorian season 2 because this one is just 0.5. This is the side story that is set on the side. That's the DVD release of a movie that you get in between the sequel.
Is it
the
bonus features that you get?
No. He's saying this is Lion King 1.5.
There we go. Lion King 1.5. There we go. It got straight.
Like Book of Boba Fett, the
DVD.
only purpose it served was to introduce Mandalorian season 3. Like that is
Oh,
the
yeah,
only.
season
You
three,
guys
there we
really
go.
hate. You
Like,
really hate
this
despise
this season was a
series.
lot of misaimed gunfights, lots of explosions, and just that's it. It was just lots of explosions and overall, just confirming that this was Mandalorian season 2.5.
Exactly. It even ended with the Mandalorian, not Boba Fett, the Mandalorian.
And this is my problem. I'm gonna let Grandmaster, because it looks like he's itching to say something. I do have a problem with the way this episode ended. But go on, Grandmaster.
Oh, I just listen. I get this. The show as a whole is very weird. It does the Boba in the first half and literally switches everything to the Mandalorian for 2 episodes straight, and it's just really weird. It's just like, why are y'all doing this? It's like, what are you doing? You had a concept, the Book of Boba Fett, and now you're going back to your bread and butter, the Mandalorian. But it's not like, what foresight must they have had to say the first 4 episodes are going to be like the worst episodes to where we need to bring back the Mandalorian, you know? So That's just weird. But at this episode, I think Boba came back to the forefront here. I felt this was his episode. Mando to me felt like the helping hand. He felt like the side character. I think Boba had more scenes, like more kind of standout character moments than anybody else in this episode specifically. Now, granted, it's just really awkward because we went 2 whole episodes without anything.
Which were the best episodes of the series.
I don't know if they're the best episodes because when you look at it as a whole, I can't call the Mandalorian episode the best episode.
Which episodes did you have the most fun watching before episode 7?
Most fun watching? I mean,
yes, and don't try to think too hard on it. You know you want to say.
I was a fan of episode 2. I was a big fan of episode 2.
Not saying what you were a big fan of. Which did you enjoy the most?
I don't know. I didn't necessarily like enjoy the Mandalorian episodes because I'm over here thinking this is weird. Where's Boba?
That's such BS. That's such BS.
It's not BS.
You definitely want to say I enjoyed episodes 5 and 6. That's what you want to say.
There we go.
Not BS. It is what it is. I can't. That's like watching freaking like, oh gosh. That's like watching an episode of like Arthur and no, Arthur's a bad one because they focus on other characters too. Oh my gosh.
GrandMasterHoop, stop defending.
No,
you're struggling right now.
As a matter of fact, no. You're right with Arthur, right? With Arthur. Arthur had very weak episodes a lot of times, but I can tell you for damn sure the episodes where they focus on DW, those were the best episodes. And those are the episodes that are mean the most. So,
I got it. Okay, Arthur had that spin-off, Postcards from Buster, where Buster goes traveling around the world and goes and visits real life cities. That's like if they had that concept of a show and then halfway through the season, Arthur said, back to me, bitches. This is my realm. And they just focus on Arthur the rest of the time. I can't watch a show and thoroughly enjoy it knowing that this is not the main character nor the main storyline. It's weird.
The Book of Boba Fett wanted to be the Mandalorian so much that it needed the Mandalorian to save its ass.
Exactly.
He
was a side character of his own story. That's horrible.
Okay, this is what I think. I think they were just wrong in titling it The Book of Boba Fett. The first 4 episodes should have just been called The Book of Boba Fett, like almost like not an anthology series, but a series,
like a mini series,
like a mini series, or like even like Game of Thrones type. Where why couldn't we just had multiple storylines going on at one point for us to go back and forth between, knowing they would all eventually converge.
But
because those stories are interesting. Boba Fett's story was
the first 4 episodes are not the Book of Boba Fett. It's the failures of Boba Fett. It's like it's just
in his book.
It's just the failures of Boba Fett. Boba Fett is just talking. He gets rammed. He spends more time in his back to tank than actually doing relevant things.
Metaphor. It's metaphorical.
Oh, it's layers. There's layers.
Oh, it's layers. Okay, wow. Like
he's healing the scars of his past to become a better.
The scars of his past. Like, no.
No. Listen, but say what you want. The handling of the series is flawed.
Also, like, first of all, why did Boba Fett want to be I want to be the ruler of Mos Eisley, Mos Espa, something like that? We don't know that. It didn't even answer that. He just said, I'm tired of bounty hunting. No wonder you're tired of bounty hunting. You suck. Like every time time someone came, he went, straight to the back to tank. Here we go.
I'm gonna tell you this, Dr. Mondo.
I'll tell you.
Where were you when we went over these episodes? You weren't there.
Working.
I'm just gonna say this. Save your
all this energy.
Save your hate. Let's focus on the great that is this episode.
Yeah, the great that is this episode that had nothing to do with Boba Fett, just the Mandalorian.
No, it did have to do with Boba Fett.
I will admit. Okay. I will admit this episode
the Rancor.
It put Boba Fett a little bit more front and center, right? He had more of a role compared to episodes 5 and 6.
Was not needed.
He had
the only thing Boba Fett did the only relevant thing Boba Fett did in this entire episode is say, yo, Mando, hold the fort while I get somebody else or something else to do the job for me, aka Rancor.
But he trained it. He trained the Rancor.
He trained it.
We never even saw that scene.
And the most bad.
Of course, it was going to be something in the background. They were not going to show us that.
And actually, the most badass scene that lasted, I would say, 5 seconds was Fennec Shand assassinating everyone in 3 seconds, just like hanging them out there on a string. And I was like, you know, Fennec Shand, who's the sidekick, could whoop Boba's ass and as in nothing.
That scene was very just weird.
It was weird, but cool.
It was cool. It was cool. I did like how she basically just strung up the the mayor with whatever, but like a fiber wire or something. But it like the way that one was done was so weird because like Fennec is the last time we saw Fennec was when she saved the group of spy kids.
Yeah, the biker gang.
I call them
bikers.
That kids.
Actually, I was. Let's pause right here for the bikers. I forgot about those guys. Because I remember telling you guys.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you said they were the worst bodyguards when Chrysanthemum came in and busted up Boba Fett in his back.
And that's my point. They haven't been seen. Because I remember there were way more of them. And for the entire episode, I only saw the black guy and the girl. And I'm like, okay, why is this guy doing like that 180 twist to fire a pistol?
I didn't see that. I know.
I know what I'm talking about.
I know the scene you're talking about. I was asking myself.
All right, listen.
Why does he have like a bionic eye but not have a sniper gun? He has the mini pistol. My man, what are you doing?
There was a scene.
So many
there
things.
was a scene where they asked
that biker gang. The only purpose they serve is just like going with their really pimped up speed bikes. That I gotta say, they look cool, but it's like that's the only thing they give to the story. Pimped up hot rod speed bikes. Okay, here we go.
Honestly, it wasn't even speed bike; it was a moped. We're not even riding a bike.
I think the reason why
a hover scooter. That's it.
I think the reason why they were not as involved as the way you think they were is because Robert Rodriguez directed both this episode and episode 2. And I guess he went into the writing room and he said, I'll be damned if you guys don't put my children and my Power Ranger mopeds in this episode.
Also, like,
got it.
Just before anything else, rip the Gamorrean guards who had more character development than Boba Fett.
They just killed them off. I could not believe that.
They didn't even mention them at the end. They just fell.
They just fell.
No, they forgot about those peeps. It's like, so these guys pledged their loyalty to you. They pushed them off a cliff, and
no burial, no remembrance.
No like honor in the name of honor, which is the name of the freaking episode. I think it is.
Actually, yes, it is.
So it's like, wow, rip Gamorrean guards. They did everything for you.
They squealed on the way down. Maybe that's what made me laugh.
I thought that was
loyal to the very end.
Gruesome. I thought it was pretty gruesome.
I laughed.
I felt sad for them. I really felt for them. That was really grim way to go.
No, all that empty space, they chose to back up against a cliff. They deserve to die. They were in the middle of nowhere. They could have backed up somewhere else. And how do you not see the enemy coming up to you? All that empty space.
I really think the wrong characters died in this episode.
Yeah.
But we know who should have kicked the bucket, but it's fine. Like I'm not even gonna say it.
They were not gonna kill Boba Fett.
Yeah, they're not gonna kill Boba Fett.
They were not.
I think that him actually kicking the bucket would have redeemed the entire series. Like some grand. Oh yeah.
I don't know about that.
I do agree. He spent
like
half
giving
of the season.
giving him an honorable death or something where you actually explain, okay, this is the change that Boba Fett underwent, would have been great. But you know what? They didn't.
No, and I agree because he spent half of the season in the hospice care, sleeping on that waterbed. That was it. This man was at death's door. He should have been gone already. And I saw him struggling to bend with this right arm. This man is not going to be standing for long.
Okay, look. How about this? What good did Boba Fett do? And don't say he didn't do anything good this episode. He did do some greatness. I liked this scene right here. Again,
beautiful scene.
Being supported by the Mandalorian.
Supporting the Mandalorian.
Notice how he's in the background in this image. The Mandalorian's up front and he's in the back supporting him.
Yeah,
Secondary
it's
character.
It's the other way around, DrJaceAttorney.
There
It's
we
like
go.
He's supporting the Mandalorian.
Y'all need to stop. That scene,
Listen, this
Boba
scene
did
was
more
cool.
work than the Mandalorian in that
Oh,
scene.
like, you mean more work just throwing your back missile and actually doing nothing? Yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
no.
he was shooting people
Yeah.
with the missiles and the
He used-
knee
he
missiles.
used-
And the
So
TPP
The
right.
against-
Mandalorian was killing everyone with one shot. Come on, his aim was even better than Boba's. Boba, the only good thing he did, really, and it was, hold the fort and getting
Let
the
me run
Rancor.
away.
That's
Yeah.
the only good thing he did in the entire series. Oh, and also when Cad Bane is gonna wipe the floor with him, we finally see why we had all these episodes of the Tusken Raiders flashback, because it gave us the clue of how Boba Fett was gonna kill Cad Bane, which is
Okay,
with the-
no,
That was
the
BS.
spear.
that was not the purpose of the Tusken Raiders.
Well, like
What
the
else was
purpose
it?
of the Tusken Raiders was to show why Boba no longer wanted to be a bounty hunter and basically get the tribe mentality. The tribe mentality of the Tusken Raiders was that we do it as a group, we don't do it alone, we work together, and there's safety in numbers. Boba leaves the Tusken Raiders.
he
thinking
could
that
have
they're dead.
created his own crime syndicate, but
That's
no,
what he did.
No,
That
he
was
didn't
what
create
the-
his own crime syndicate. He went like, I am the good guy. I will protect this city because I am its ruler.
Because he's ruling through respect instead of fear.
Sounds like a bitch to me.
He saw what the Tusken Raiders did with ruling through, not out of fear of each other, but ruling through respect, mutual respect amongst their peers, and then taking that mentality and applying it to being a syndicate crime boss.
But you
Is
cannot
he-
apply it against people that were savages and never respected you in the first place. That's the
Against
difference.
who?
between-
Like Boba Fett, the
The crime
entire time, it was
syndicate.
like, when
Yes, he killed
Boba
them.
Fett needed to be like have an iron fist and actually assert his dominance, he didn't. He literally let the other crime syndicate families, it was just obvious, they're gonna betray your ass. It's so obvious they're gonna betray your ass. You finally have them all in one place. Feed them to the freaking Rancor.
Thank you.
Like,
He
it's
wasn't even
so
good enough to kill them at the
obvious.
end. He had to get a psychic to do the job. He wasn't
It's
even
like-
good enough to get rid
Like,
of
even
them.
Fennec Shade is like the entire time, are you sure? Are you sure this is right? Like,
Listen.
Fennec Shade is the smartest one of them all. Like saying, I'm not sure you're doing this right.
Listen.
And then it bites him in the ass.
We gotta keep it focused on this episode, this finale. We going all over the place.
No, well,
Keep
it does have something to do with this finale because Fennec Shade had to wipe clean all his mess.
No,
Listen,
she
this okay,
didn't.
okay. Look, listen. The-
You gotta come up with your point really fast. Stop laughing.
Listen, it's funny. It's funny listening to these. We cannot go in here saying that this episode was terrible. If you want to say that the entirety of Book of Boba Fett was okay or mid, that's fine. That's different. But what about episode 7? What about
I give
episode
it a 6
7?
out of 10. Like, I enjoyed the action.
Okay.
I enjoyed the action and all that. Like, the battle sequences were pretty cool. Like, I was actually awake throughout the entire episode, difference to like the first 4. But there were a lot of things that I was like, okay, so this doesn't explain like Boba Fett's intentions. Like Cad Bane, like his like confrontation with Cad Bane, where Cad Bane like says like, hey, there's like a past between us. That could have been explored so much better throughout the entire series, and they just like name dropped it really quickly, and then
So wait,
Well-
with Cad Bane, him and Boba had history in the Clone Wars.
then
Think-
like that's
There
I didn't know
are
that. Like I didn't
Like, are there
see-
episodes where that happened? I feel
I
like there
believe
might
there
have
are
been.
a couple of arcs where definitely season 2. Because that was the bounty hunter.
I didn't see the entirety of the Clone Wars, so
Well,
I
the
take back my statement there.
season 2 of Clone Wars was titled Bounty Hunters, and it had a lot of bounty hunter based storylines. In those storylines, you saw Boba team up with a bunch of bounty hunters. I can't recall if he teamed up with Cad Bane in that one, but I know he and Cad Bane have crossed paths. when Clone Wars got the boot, it never had that unfinished season where it was like those 6 episodes that appeared on Netflix.
Yeah.
That season, there are unfinished shots of an arc featuring Boba and Cad Bane, where they are the sole.
Like I would have liked at least for them to kind of name drop a little bit more in this season. If what you're saying is true, that it's like they had planned in Clone Wars to do kind of that.
Well,
Like-
here's my thing with introducing Cad Bane as a whole. I missed last week's episode, so I couldn't talk about it. You know, especially now with this episode, Cad Bane, everybody shat their pants when they saw
Easily.
Cad Bane show up,
100%.
because that's a cool character from the Clone Wars who made the jump to live action. Anytime someone makes the jump to live action and it's done well, we're gonna be elated. Same thing for Ahsoka. Problem with Cad Bane, he's here, he's gone. They
brought him too late. They brought him in too late, and that's also one of the things. Like if they would have brought him in early, they could have like explored a little bit more the history that he has with Boba or something like that, which would have been cool, and it would have made a more dramatic final confrontation between the two.
Right. So when how the fact that he was here and now he's gone, we can now just attribute it to just shock factor. He was a shock factor.
I hate that.
Yeah, and I don't like that either, because there's so much more you could have done with Cad Bane. There's so much more you could have done in this episode. Where the hell did he go when everybody's fighting
Cad
the
Bane
streets?
Cad Bane, the only thing he did in that entire episode was appear, be the badass that he is, saying like, oh, try to negotiate and all that, and rile up Boba, then disappeared into the background the entire episode, and then appeared again in front of Boba. And the way Boba killed Cad Bane is BS.
He relied on his Tusken Raider martial arts.
Yeah, it just shows the entire purpose of why the Tusken Raiders were introduced. And
that is not the entire purpose of why the Tusken Raider.
I disagree with that too. The Tusken Raiders,
the Tusken Raiders arc with him was boring as hell. But that's for later.
You could say it was boring, but to say that was the entire purpose of the Tusken Raider, so that Boba could have a melee weapon to kill Cad Bane.
Obviously, it wasn't in the mind of the writers. Obviously, it wasn't. But the way it was written so terribly, it literally went to that. It wasn't their purpose to make that arc explain only that, but they did a really shitty job with that arc. And the only thing it actually did was explain that.
I agree. That was the only major thing. Apart from that, you can say yes, Boba did learn how to work together.
Yeah.
Because of them, but that is more like things in the background. It's not something that's obvious. The major thing
what
was
do you mean it's not obvious? It's
No,
there. That is literally
like-
the transition from him being with the Tusken Raiders to when he meets Fennec. He meets Fennec, and after his ordeal with the Tusken Raiders, he's like, guys, I don't want to be a bounty hunter anymore. I learned, because he was with the Tusken Raiders for years, or not even years, months to at least a couple years. So he clearly learned from them, bro, bounty hunting, it ain't shit. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm actually enjoying myself, not having to survive day by day, wondering who's gonna stab me in the back.
So he chooses the most dangerous
moment.
job on the planet, being the leader.
And he's
then
ruling
not
through
doing
respect.
a good job.
He's ruling through respect. You don't have to worry about someone killing you or stabbing you in the back.
But the thing is that Boba Fett demonstrates he's actually super naive the entire series. For a bounty hunter, I know ex bounty hunter, whatever. I know you want to rule by respect. I know. Let's go with the Tusken Raiders, that they serve the purpose of actually introducing him to, hey, strength in numbers. You don't have to be alone or actually worry someone's going to betray you. But that doesn't erase all your bounty hunter past. And Boba, the entire series, he's actually so naive. I would expect an ex bounty hunter to be okay, I'm gonna negotiate with you and all that, but I'm going to expect to a certain level that you are gonna betray me, and I am gonna be prepared if you betray me. Boba Fett, the entire series, is never prepared. He always gets stabbed in the back, and it's like, and the entire time, like, Fennec Shand is actually telling him, "Don't trust these guys," and he's like, "No."
And again, that goes to the writing
it's
how
horrible writing.
It is horrible writing. I do agree with that. That portion is horrible writing. All I'm saying is the Tusken Raiders, regardless of what the writing purpose was, it had a goal in trying to establish, listen, we might be writing this terribly, debatably.
No, I agree that was the goal of them, that they had in their minds when they wrote it. But
yes,
horribly executed.
Listen, the whole point of Boba Fett's arc is that this is a boy who was left fatherless, and he is out here watching the Clone Wars too. If you watch the Clone Wars, this boy is just trying to find his place in the world, automatically taking up his father's, footsteps as a bounty hunter. He was looking for a tribe. If you watch the series, he gets in leagues with like Bosk and Aurra Sing and all these other bounty hunters, and he learns he doesn't like killing. All right, but he's pushed by these people. He's pushed by that he doesn't have a lack of guidance. He is looking for a tribe, and in doing so, he deep dives more into the bounty hunter life. Fast forward all these years, he realizes, as Dr. J said, he's tired of working with these idiots who ruled out of fear. He saw how these people handled everything. He says he wants to do it a different way. He says he's tired of bounty hunting. He's tired of working for idiots. He wants to do things a different way. He meets the Mandalorian, someone who, very close to him as far as, kind of like similar backgrounds, as far as they were both orphaned at a young age, and they both were forever seeking people to, be a tribe. The Mandalorian was a foundling. Boba, he got picked up by the wrong people, but then when they cross paths, they have a mutual respect for each other. From there, I think he understands he wants to find his people, and he's going back to a place that he saw downtrodden, beaten by people like the Hutts and the Pikes. And then he sees the Sand people who have had ancestral lands throughout the history of Tatooine.
Sand people.
And he says, and look at these people, the negative outlook everyone has had on them, they are treating me as one of their own equals. He's just trying to give back. He's trying to give back in a way that culminates here, because he has his tribe of people. He's got his right-hand people. He's got the people of Freedom Town, or whatever.
I hate
Free
that
Town.
name, by the way.
It
was cringe. I was like, ugh.
Such a cringy name.
What was it? Mos Ice? It was Mos Ice?
No, it's Mos Espa.
Mos Espa.
Mos Espa.
Or
and
I
they're
don't
like,
even.
No. Mos Espa was this town, right?
Yeah, Mos Espa was this town.
What was their town?
Not Isley, because Isley
Mop
is
Isley or something?
No, Mos Eisley is the one from the movies.
I just remember whatever the town name was, people would say, and they were like, "No, Freetown."
Listen, Freetown is the type of naming that escape. Oh gosh, let me not get into history, but like,
go for it.
They said, "We're free. What do we name our town? How about Freetown?"
Obviously, my blown.
Like a beacon of hope.
But either way, he's fighting for something. He's just doing things different from what he's been raised on and what he has seen. And it culminates here because he's not going to take no for an answer. And in doing so, he avenges his adopted family, the first family who he really felt part of a tribe where it's not based on just killing everybody.
But again, Ethan, GrandMasterHoop, it's like all that you're saying is true. That's what the writers had in mind.
They didn't. I saw it.
They horribly executed all that.
It was not horribly.
You could say it was boring. I thought it was boring. I thought it was a little boring here and there.
The dialogue was cardboard. Like Boba Fett was a cardboard character.
Listen,
like you could have developed him so much better.
You need to know
that. Like the idea is fine. I'm cool with the idea of him finding his family, finding his tribe, and all that. I'm cool with that. But you could have made it interesting.
I found it very interesting. You know, you talk about little to no dialogue. Tamira Morrison, the actor who plays Boba Fett, he wishes he had less dialogue because he wanted Boba. He wanted Boba
He's
to
a
be
horror,
shrouded.
like he's not a like. At least he didn't act that great here, so I would have been great with him.
Oh
speaking
no,
less.
I think.
And
he's
whenever he
fine
stopped speaking, the episode got better. Just saying.
No, he acted fine. He is a great actor. I am fine with less dialogue. And again, I said this way back when. I appreciate the Tusken scenes for having little to no dialogue.
No,
because
like
they showed more.
because you need
in
like,
action.
you need to know when to put dialogue and when not to put dialogue.
You did
Boba
not
Fett
need
ha-
dialogue with
No,
Tuskens.
Boba Fett talks too much. Boba Fett talks too much throughout the entire series.
You're kidding.
I think Boba Fett takes his helmet too much off.
Oh,
in the
also
entire
that,
series.
like,
Actually,
I
he's not a
never understood
Mandalorian.
that.
He
It's like,
takes it off.
dude, like, stop taking your helmet off.
He can take his helmet
that's
off.
that's the one middle ground I'll meet with DrMondo. I don't like the helmet. I didn't like the helmet part.
Because-
It's like I get it. Like you want to see eye to eye with someone so that you understand. I'm not just this armored walking weapon. I'm a person underneath this helmet. Hello there. I'm Boba Fett. You're your local crime syndicate drug lord. How do you do today? And
and then
that's
he
it.
took
That's
off the
it.
helmet, and like I mentioned a couple episodes ago, he looked like a person that's a cancer patient about to kick the bucket.
Oh
You're not
my
intimidated by Boba
I
Fett.
hope no cancer patients are
Literally.
listening.
If you have cancer, I mean not to offend. Anyway, moving on. Like I was gonna say, when he was on the floor and they were taking off when he was about to be executed, come on, like this is not
what part?
the part
Cad
when he was
Bane.
about to be
Oh,
executed.
Cad Bane.
I mean,
Okay,
he
that
stopped on the
part,
ground.
that part
He
I
stopped,
kind
I'm
of
like,
got. That part
I'm
I
like,
kind of
come
got.
on. I'm
No,
like,
I
you look-
get it. They do it in other forms of
You
fiction
look
where
like
like
a
the villain's
broken
fighting
man.
the hero, they're in armor, and he's like, "No, let me see the death in your eyes" or whatever. Like, I got it there. There.
But that's the thing. Boba Fett was like, he looked like a broken man. He didn't look like anything.
Did you see what he just fought?
But do you see
Did
what
you
you're
Did you see
saying?
what he just fought?
But do you
He
see what
was
you're
riding
saying?
a Rancor. He fought.
broken man is a beautiful
not
metaphor.
what he fought.
He fought.
What the Rancor fought.
He was
Let's-
riding
There
on
we
top
go.
of, I don't
He
know
was
if you
just-
ever ridden a horse, but if you're riding a horse in a race, you're not gonna be as tired as the horse, but that crap is tiring. You gotta lead that horse, you gotta steer it. This thing is getting thrown across buildings. This thing is probably leading him back as he's riding on the back of it. Like Boba at that point, when he gets his helmet taken off from Cad Bane, he was sweating a waterfall, right? It made sense.
The man
Homie
looks
was in a
sick.
battle for the last
The
hour.
thing is that
A battle riding an animal, not doing any form of exercise.
Did you not see? I'm sorry. Did you close your eyes for the entire episode before
Oh.
that?
All I know is he had time to fly or run away to get the Rancor. By the time he got back to the city, he was no longer tired. And if he was still tired, that proves my point. The man doesn't belong on the battlefield. Retire already. Go home.
The thing
The
is that
retiring
Book of
home
Bo-
is on the
Book of
next
Boba
planet.
Did a couple of things wrong. But the thing is that Boba Fett has always been like this really badass, mysterious character in a way
Yes.
in the Star Wars like mythos. Like Boba Fett is like, yo, Boba Fett. Like Boba Fett in a way inspired The Mandalorian. Or like the series of The Mandalorian, everyone loved The Mandalorian, so they said, yo, let's bring in the original guy that actually inspired everything, which is Boba Fett. And the bar was gonna be high because Boba Fett has always been seen as that mysterious badass character. And they thought, yo, if Mandalorian was badass, like Boba Fett has to be on the same level or even more. And you give us this old man who's finding, yes, his tribe, and it's like dealing with things from his childhood tribe, which is fine and dandy and all that, you know, it can become like good character development, but he's actually a very pathetic character throughout the entire series. Like, he's naive, he's weak, like it's not
All
even
right, what
it's
you're
not even like a
saying-
weakness that's like, okay, this is like a human weakness. No, like he's pathetic.
Listen, they give context to everything. He was in a Sarlacc pit for who knows how long.
Even then,
And
that's the issue. Like I mentioned it earlier in the early episode, I went in expecting, like Dr. Mondo said, a badass character. The man spent half of the season asleep and dreaming about the past.
He's in recovery. I don't know what you
It's
want
been-
from him. It's
They should have
It's been
skipped it.
years. The thing
I
is that
don't
it's
know what
been
you want
years since
from
he was
him.
in the Sarlacc pit.
listen. Listen,
It's not like, oh,
but he
I
never
was in the Sarlacc
healed.
pit like 2 weeks ago, and obviously, yeah, like you're still gonna feel it. No, it's been years.
Listen, he never healed. It's like if you ever watch Legend of Korra. Korra got that metal in her, and she never fully healed from it. It wasn't until like she met Toph did they pull out that metal. He was living with the Tusken Raiders. I didn't see a back to tank. I don't know if you saw it.
But
There was no back
There
to tank.
wasn't.
The man never healed, and they make it a point to explain that's why he was so weak. That's why you
But-
don't have this badass version.
but the
that
thing
we
is that
all
the
know.
badass version really never appeared.
He appears in glimpses. The dude blasted a dude with his wrist rocket in like episode 1. We got like hell of more of it here, where he's flying on a jetpack, shooting people with his assault rifle, shooting people with his pistol, shooting people with his knee rockets or whatever the hell you call it.
That's a very weird way to aim rockets, like from the knee.
I
don't know how
love it.
that-
I think it's cool.
I thought it was cool. I'm like,
it's
but
versatile.
It's kind of cool.
the
yes.
practicality of it, I'm like, okay, wrist rockets, I kind of get it, but like knee rockets,
It makes sense if the enemy bring you down to your knee, they think you're about to surrender. You're like, haha, surprise
Exactly.
knee rocket to the face.
Exactly.
Surprise knee
But
rocket.
What I'm
the
saying
thing
is,
is that Boba Fett did not deliver to the expectations that Star Wars fans have had for years regarding the character, because it's fine for you to throw in some like weaknesses on the guy. Yeah, the guy's not like OP or anything.
and that's the problem with Star Wars fans. That is
No,
the
but like even
Oh wait,
No,
Dr.
yeah,
Mondo,
yeah,
let me pause you
I-
for 1 second. I thought the point of Boba Fett was he was supposed to be OP because he was able to keep up or fight Jedi level enemies. I thought that was the entire point of his
No,
character.
that was never the entire point of Boba Fett, because
Well, okay.
at no point in the original Star Wars trilogy does Boba Fett pull any of the badass stuff that people claim to be, and like what GrandMasterHoop was saying, Star Wars fans are part of the problem with the fandom.
no, to be
like,
fair, I didn't know.
agree on that.
No,
I can agree
and
on
that's
that.
fine, and that's why I want to clarify it, because Boba Fett in the original trilogy did practically nothing badass. He looked badass because of his armor and what he had on him, but in terms of what he did, he never did anything badass in the original trilogy.
let's
But
go with
the fandom applied like, wow, he looks badass. He has to be doing stuff that's badass. I want to see that badass stuff. And then occasionally in extended media, like in books, comics, stuff like that, you might see some of that stuff where he's flying around, boom, boom, boom,
It's in
rockets,
the comic books.
rockets
Like, it's
out
in-
of his
Hey.
butt, all that
It's
stuff.
in the
No.
Boba Fett, like the Boba Fett comic books. Like, yeah, that's like, okay, Boba Fett's like badass. He has that mysteriousness behind him. Now you're finally bringing like a live action Boba Fett. You're bringing him back from the dead, technically, because they did bring him back from the dead. And for you to deliver this, it's like it's going to be disappointing no matter how.
Okay, no.
How
But
well
Dr.
done.
Mondo, let me pause you right now. Coming from somebody that's not used to the Star Wars movie, I never saw the 70s movies. I barely care about the early 2000s, and I struggle to the last decade movie
Oh,
because
like
of a couple people.
The last trilogy should never have happened. But
So let's go with that. Limited knowledge on Star Wars. The one thing I know is for some reason, the Star Wars fandom always had a boner for Boba Fett. I remember there was a game about to be announced and people lost their mind. They said, and from
Wait, a
an
game?
outsider point, the Boba Fett single player game, it got canceled. It
Oh,
was
Star Wars 1313.
13. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
That game got canceled. I remember there were even leaks or pictures of it a couple months ago, and people were still excited. So if this character is so boring, how come? Like, what comic or what kind of extended, I guess, lore
Like-
has been released to
like I
make us
said,
think that he was a badass?
The fandom.
It
does
cannot be that.
this.
It cannot be
It
that
is.
universal. You telling me
It
the Star
is.
Wars fandom is so
Yes!
that they hyped up a C-rated
listen.
character into a Z-rated character, and they're like,
Yes.
The
as
character.
far as we know, Boba Fett
character-
might as well be a bum on the street that they say, oh, I like how this bum is dressed. I'm gonna hype him up to God level. He's the next character I want. Is that what we're getting here?
The character of Jango Fett, his father.
You see, that's why I don't like Star Wars.
He was
That's-
only included in Attack of the Clones because
Which one
they-
is that, by the way?
So
You have to
Django-
The
specify.
second one of the like early 2000s, episode 2.
Okay,
Jango
so that's
Fett
like,
is Boba Fett's dad. He was the
oh
one,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
remember
yeah,
the
yeah,
one
guy
Mace
who-
Windu? He cut off his head.
The
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
who provided, he was the template for all the clones. He was only
Yeah, I knew
included in
that.
that movie because they said, let's keep building off the hype of Boba Fett. But Boba Fett would only be a kid. So they said, oh, what about, let's make his dad a character. And they made him a badass. Jango Fett, everybody loved Jango Fett. Jango Fett was cool. Because the fandom, they were literally building off of what the fandom had, put out into the earth and made George Lucas bite. He said, all right, I'll bite. Let's make this character really cool. He was just supposed to be a one-off character. Y'all, took it elsewhere. But
So-
I think as a series, which, if you look at it as just this one season, probably not that great. I don't think his story is over. I think the book is going
You
to
think they're going to do
continue.
more after this?
The way they left it, they literally said, we're not cut out for this. And like, what are we cut out for? And then it kind of pans out to his little squad.
And it would be really stupid.
Well, we had that
after
cliffhanger,
that,
though,
he goes
too.
back to bounty hunting because, and just like defeats the purpose of this entire series.
I don't think he'll go back to bounty
He's not.
hunting, but I
because he
think
can't physically.
I think he has an idea of what he wants to do. He wants to put one of his people in charge, and then he's got other business to handle. And he's probably, gonna be out there fighting the good fight as far as,
liberating
well,
counts.
the Pikes can't be out here just committing genocide,
Boba Fett the
going
savior.
unchecked.
Actually,
You know?
that's my next question. I know in the cartoon, the Clone Wars cartoon, the Pikes are supposed to be some kind of secret badass organization. Am I the only one that doesn't get that feeling from them in this show? I feel like they were just second rate.
They barely appear, honestly.
Yeah,
in this
I don't
series.
understand why they're so
And it's just
feared.
like they're mentioned and
Wait.
mentioned, and then they appear out of
When you
nowhere.
say they're badass, like what do you mean? Like
as in they're supposed to be there's supposed to be some kind of secret organization that's really fear, like Akatsuki level where, oh my god, it's the Pikes, we gotta go. Like, I mean,
okay,
the Huts,
no, they
the
were
Huts
not.
pack them.
I
But that's
will
the thing,
say-
the Huts pack their bag and say, yo, let's go.
It's something where how do you call it? Even in the Clone Wars, they're not just a group of people that was just mentioned and then people like shat their pants. It's just people know of them and they know to just not mess with them. That's it. It's not out of like
But that's the thing, why?
Pikes,
Give me a
shiver
reason.
timbers. Because
Like,
of
give me
stuff
a reason.
stuff like this. If in the Clone Wars, because I think there were episodes or arcs whenever the Pikes
There was a
with-
significant Pike arc. I can't remember the context.
That's when
but-
Ahsoka and the girl, they stole a supply from the Pike and they started chasing after them.
But no, I also remember one that featured Count Dooku as well. It was like, oh my gosh, actually
Yes.
it dealt with because they didn't know Count Dooku was Darth Tyrannus. And it was the mystery of the killing of the Jedi who ordered the clones. Sifo Dyas.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get into it because it's
Yeah.
you gotta go watch the Clone Wars.
You
It's
gotta go
really
watch
good.
the Clone Wars.
It's basically
Right.
Count Dooku like had this master plan to cover up everything. And so it's really good.
Okay.
And yeah, that highlights the Pikes too. So you'll learn about the Pikes. in that.
Honestly, only feeling I'm getting from this is this entire series I've been overhyped by the fans, and this is turnout. And I'm talking about the Star Wars series in general. It's overhyped by the fan, and nothing is as good as it seems. That's the feeling I get.
I'm gonna say
Go-
this. I was never hyped for this series. I wanted Mandalorian season 3. When they
I
said the
was
Book
never,
of Boba Fett,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, like I watched it just for like, okay, I got nothing to watch for completeness sake. Let's see where this leads. I was disappointed. Like even with Mandalorian, I was like, because I'm not a Star Wars fan. Like I started Mandalorian, like, hey, so everyone's hyping up Mandalorian. Let me see it. I was hooked. Mandalorian, I
Yeah.
was hooked immediately. Like, this is a space western. I'm all for this. And I watched it in the entirety, and I'm not a Star Wars fan. Boba Fett, I was like, they're gonna try to do Mandalorian vibes here. Let's see how it pans out. But I wasn't like super hyped. I just felt that the series never tried to really be its own thing. It was kind of just limited by, okay, let's try to rehash everything that made Mandalorian good, but with bad writing. And then like they introduced they put the Mandalorian in at random here, which were the 2 best episodes, honestly, where Boba Fett wasn't in.
Well, going off of that, I have a question then, because we've neglected to mention him. GROGU made a very important decision in this episode. Or I guess last week he made an important decision, whichever. He chose
he chose the way to the Force.
He chose the way. He said he gave the middle finger to Luke.
No, well, he has 3 fingers, so he did to Luke this.
He gave his middle his middle finger. He said, screw you. The Jedi deserve to die out. And he left. He thought he could bait him with a legacy lightsaber used by Yoda himself.
Yeah.
And GROGU said no. No.
Like,
I want my shiny shirt.
Actually, that makes me wonder where GROGU is during the new trilogy, because that would explain why he wasn't killed in the new trilogy. He was not at the Jedi Temple.
I'm gonna tell you right now, get the new trilogy out of your head, because as Nino
Disney doesn't want to touch the new trilogy anymore.
Oh wait, they canceled it?
No, they didn't cancel it.
They should.
They didn't.
They're
distance themselves.
Distance is a good word.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna see Rey Skywalker anymore.
Never.
Do you want to see Rey Skywalker?
Do you tell me you didn't shiver when she say, "My name is Rey Skywalker"?
Yeah,
no,
shiver me timbers. Shiver me timbers.
I shivered like cringe.
There's so many.
This is stupid.
Talking about that trilogy is it's a pod in itself.
It's a pod by itself. Yeah. We'll leave it alone.
Don't touch
it. But right now, I don't really care about where GROGU was 30 plus years from now in the sequel.
Oh, that's right. It's 30 years. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, easily. Because
I'm going to say that girl's an idiot for bringing... Oh, gunfire. Come on, kid. Let's go find the Mando by the gunfire.
I think the kid is safer with Mando than just running around.
Why are they going to the gunfire? Why?
Yeah,
that's where the big machines. Come on.
Maybe he
was
putting
lie,
his
that was
money.
Funny. Like that sequence was funny, but it was really stupid. It's like
that.
What?
The droid, by the way, droidicas. It's like I thought that was a nice callback. I thought that was a nice
That was some out of cartoon shit with the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
and he catches him midair.
Yep,
that was dumb.
Robert Rodriguez, there you go.
Oh, you tell me you tell me you didn't enjoy the fact that he let the girl like face split, but he saved GROGU, like Jedi in training.
The same thing. I was like,
he's a baby. He still views him as a baby, so it's like, okay, the baby probably can't protect himself.
I just gotta say, GROGU saved his ass.
Yeah,
he was pulling a lot of force powers in this.
Oh, okay,
GROGU in this episode, and I'm gonna say it because we're already on this hate train. Did more than Boba Fett did in the 7 episodes.
Oh, Jesus, can you just say what you liked about GROGU, damn it?
I'm just gonna say this. GROGU didn't save anybody. GROGU was working out of self-interest the whole time.
You think he just got that bowl for himself?
He didn't. He did not cripple that droid. He wanted the joint because it was fun to play with.
That's not true.
And
you're kidding. That's what he did.
That's not what.
Are you really saying that he's not saving Mando? Come on, he chose Mando over Luke, and then he says, "You know what? I'm just gonna let him die there."
I think he recognized I cannot lift something like that with the Force.
So he took a little piece out of it.
He took a little piece. He's like, Luke has not trained me well enough to lift up something that size, but let me take the bolt. Boom.
Selfish.
And then he calmed the freaking Rancor when the Rancor was gonna eat Mando alive.
He wanted a pet.
He wanted a pillow, right? Is that what you're gonna say? He wanted a pillow.
Oh my God.
Mando, GROGU wanted
defend
Boba
and then shit on GROGU. That is unacceptable.
I'm not shitting on GROGU. I like
you
GROGU.
Are shitting on.
I'm not
GROGU.
shitting
Explain
on
yourself,
Shame on
then.
you.
I'm not shitting on GROGU, but again, it's like this is Boba's show. Here
Which
he
is interesting.
still
It's
his
interesting.
show.
Yeah,
It's
it was
interesting
supposed to be Boba's show, but he
because-
didn't do shit. So Mando did more than him in very few episodes that he was in, and even Grogu did more shit
I would
than
just
Mando
Speaking of
when you come to the
Grogu,
7
though,
episodes.
he kept the chainmail, but that chainmail didn't do shit.
Well, he didn't get
It didn't-
shot.
Oh yeah.
What
like,
was the
I
point?
would've-
Was it like
I
a
would've actually
symbolic
liked
thing?
something
Like,
that the
I
chainmail like saved him of something. That would have been like, okay, that would have been cool because
think it was
actually
more of like a
would've given-
symbolic gesture. Like, I choose
I
the
choose
way.
you over the
I choose the
Jedi,
way
yeah.
over the Jedi.
Which is funny because I wish they would touch this upon more, and even in the Mandalorian. Now that like the Jedi are in the series because Luke is in,
Yeah.
it would have been I would really like for them to touch like the Mandalorian Wars, because
Oh, they could
that's
do that. That would be cool.
because that's actually a thing. Like there
Yeah, it
was
is.
a war between the Mandalorians and the Jedi. They're like
Yeah.
polar opposites. They hate their guts, even like their philosophy. Like the Force is like throwing away all attachment. The Mandalorian way is the opposite, which is cool that they touched that in the few episodes that Mando's in the series. So, and that
is,
Grogu actually,
yeah.
Grogu couldn't dispose of his feelings towards Mando, of the bond that he has.
I'm curious what Luke had to say
Yeah,
about all
same.
this. Like, because
I'm-
I want to know if he just gave
Also,
Grogu
I
the
was,
middle
I was
finger.
kind of
It's like,
expecting
screw you,
in the
kid.
episode, like, although when I saw that Luke didn't appear, but Cad Bane being a Jedi hunter, it would have been really cool to see Luke go against him.
That would
Oh, yeah, that would've been cool.
That would have been
Luke would have killed him.
I understand though,
but-
like the confrontation Cad Bane Boba Fett. Don't get me wrong, it was horribly executed, but I understand you wanting to like that confrontation.
Just don't kill him. That's all I wanted.
I
Let him
I
come
just didn't
back.
want him to die. I would have
Yeah.
been fine with the fight. Just don't kill him. I don't know why you
Let him
killed him.
come back.
They could have left Cad Bane like really injured and him saying like, "Yo, I'm gonna be back."
You know what's funny? I thought because at the end of the episode,
Oh, I thought
Boba
that was Cad
said,
Bane in the back to tank.
I thought it was Cat because Boba said
Same.
I have someone in the back to tank. I thought it was Chrysanthemum because they said earlier in the episode Chrysanthemum probably needs to be in the back to tank. You see Chrysanthemum there with Boba, so you're like, so wait,
Hmm.
So who's in the
Chrysanthemum's
back
here.
to tank?
Who is in the back to tank? You look back. I didn't recognize him at first. I had to look back again.
It's Cobb Van.
It's Cobb Van. I'm like, okay, so
So
Yeah,
he's gonna
it's
be a
like-
mod
Dead.
now.
he's
Great.
not dead.
Yeah,
And the
like,
guy
I
above
would've-
him was
I really would have
the
liked
body
for them not to
modifier.
kill Cad Bane, and for him to like, it's fine.
It
like,
would have been
for-
weird if he stuck Cad Bane in the back to tank. I'm
No,
not gonna
for
lie.
him to-
Like,
for him to be like really in, let's say, a fight between Boba and Cad Bane. Cad Bane would have, like, Boba Fett would have been super freaking injured, and like Cad Bane as well. And Cad Bane kind of retreats and says like, "Okay, I'm gonna be back" or whatever. But I really would have liked Luke to go against Cad Bane because Cad Bane is a Jedi hunter. He was a
Would've been
Jedi
nice.
hunter. He went against Obi-Wan I don't know how many times. It would have been super cool to actually see that, but they didn't. And whatever, I lost opportunity there.
that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
the killing of Cad Bane, it was
Yeah, it's like you waste-
unexpected.
No, it's
Especially
like
with
you
his
wasted
introduction.
a really good storyline
Yeah, no,
Because-
I will say that was
because
I-
Cad Bane, they could have actually used, and let's say if you want to make a Boba Fett season 2, which they shouldn't, but let's say they make a Boba Fett season 2, Cad Bane is still alive, it would have focused on Cad Bane, like his relationship with Boba, and
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
That
the
would have
past
been
that
nice.
he had with Boba, and like him posing actually like the moral questions about, which he does to a certain extent here. It's like when Boba says like, "I don't associate myself with murderers." It's like, bro, what the fuck are you?
Yeah,
It's
there
like-
were some lines that were
It's-
questionable.
And like
I'm
even like
dude.
Cad Bane says it to him.
Go
like-
back and watch the Clone Wars with the Boba episodes, and I think that'll make sense why. If you
No,
go back
no.
and watch
Time
those
to give
ones.
it a
So, like,
watch.
I agree. Like I'm gonna have to go back and watch that, but it would have been cool for them to actually have, okay, like Cad Bane is Boba Fett's nemesis now. He's gonna be his nemesis. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna really make your life miserable, and not only that, I'm actually going to make you question yourself. not just because I'm at the same level or even better.
He's the
than
devil
you
on his shoulder.
when it comes to bounty hunting, but it's like it seems as though they were presenting it here. It's like, yeah, like you were a youngling when I met you. It's like I taught you everything you know, kind of stuff. It would have been cool, but they wasted the opportunity killing Cad Bane, and the way they killed him was really shitty. They could like he deserved. If you're gonna kill a character like that, you gotta give him a good death, and they didn't.
They didn't give him a good death, especially just introducing him so late in the game. I don't mind them introducing him late. I just don't like the fact that, oh, well, let's get rid of him now.
Yeah, it's just let's hype the series. I felt it's that while they were filming this series, they kind of noticed, Jesus, like these first 4 episodes are really boring. So let's start by introducing Mando again. And that perks people up. So they introduce Mando. So the second episode that Mando's in, it's like, okay, like everyone loves Mando, but we need something else to kind of perk people's interest. So they put Luke Skywalker and GROGU in. And then, we kind of need to perk a little bit more for the finale. Let's put Cad Bane.
I think they're just trying to establish...
that like a lot of characters that they put in was just like to kind of keep the interest of the series going. It's like it's as if halfway through the series while they were filming it, they kind of knew that this is very boring. People are going to stop watching this, and we don't want to refilm this from scratch. So let's do this.
I think honestly what really happened, now that we talk about it more, I think this wasn't supposed to be the Book of Boba Fett. I think this was supposed to be season 3 of The Mandalorian.
The only thing Book of Boba Fett served was to introduce season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Well, let me finish this thought. So I think in concept, this whole arc seemed focused on Boba Fett, to where they said, let's call it the Book of Boba Fett. And that's where I think they would match. But as it developed, I think what they're really just trying to establish is the equivalent of the MCU in the Star Wars universe. Multiple shows, as far as
crossovers,
like they bring in characters from Rebels,
but again, like you can do that actually giving the character, like the title, Book of Boba Fett, reins of his own show. It's like,
that's what I'm saying, is that in concept they only called it that after the fact, versus their plan shifted as it developed more. It became more about, let's make this it's a Star Wars universe. How come these shows have never really crossed into the movies, or vice versa? So I think they're honestly doing a good job. And what I see moving forward from this is, like, say in the Ahsoka series, we will definitely see Mandalorian appearing in there. We will see Boba Fett.
No, and I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. That's what I'm just saying.
I didn't have if would have been Book of Boba Fett, and let's say like Boba Fett is the protagonist of the series, and Mandalorian appears. Fine, that's cool. Mandalorian, everyone loves Mandalorian, but don't make and let him have his moment. Let Mando have his moments as well. Perfect, because he's in the show. But to write a show about Boba Fett and actually make the standout be Mando is just bad. It's like the new Spider-Man movie that Doctor Strange is in it. Make Doctor Strange have the best moments and put Spider-Man in the background when the movie is called Spider-Man. That's basically what happened here. The other way around.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that was the intention.
No, it wasn't their intention, but what
I'm saying is they never intended this to be solely a Boba Fett show. This was supposed to be running parallel with Mandalorian season 3. This is supposed to be running parallel with that. Imagine, I don't know if you ever watched Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy runs parallel with this other.
Don't talk about that show.
It's okay. That's okay. I'm just saying.
Is it not an accurate depiction of the medical field?
No, stop. Says, let me finish.
I thought it was.
Stop it. Stop it. It just runs parallel with this other show in the same universe as firefighters, and they have constant crossover events.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
that is, I think
So
that is
like,
what
kind of to
Oh,
a certain
so-
extent, Sabrina and Riverdale.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Never
that
watched
one
that, so
only
I'm
has
gonna
a
say
couple of
yes.
crossover. But like,
yes.
imagine if Book of Boba Fett came out at the same time as Mandalorian. It would not have been so jarring if those episodes 5 and 6 were just Mandalorian episodes, and then we see Mandalorian come
Oh,
in the next episode of Book of Boba Fett.
like the CW shows, like Supergore,
Yeah, yes,
Arrow.
yes,
yeah, all of those.
yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Perfect,
that makes
Yes,
sense.
Yeah.
that is that.
That's
is
actually
what
the
I'm trying to
best
say.
comparison. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense what you're saying. Like, even though it's called the Book of Boba Fett,
Like,
it's
and
supposed
again,
to
I
be a
understand-
mixture of all the characters.
Like,
Like,
I
all of the
understand that there
stories,
should be a
I think
mixture.
because it's only 2 shows right now, that's why it seems so jarring, because you only have 2 shows to balance it out. You have Mandalorian and you have Book of Boba Fett. And when you throw in all these other characters, it just looks like all these characters are there because Boba Fett can't pick his feet up throughout
And-
most of the thing. But if they had other shows like what you were saying with like the Arrowverse, Flash, all those
yeah.
other stuff. So like if they had like a GROGU series or something where he's with Luke, the Ahsoka series, the Obi-Wan stuff. I think if once you have all of that stuff together, there's balance.
No,
in the-
but
Actually-
no, but here's the thing. So really, like going into like the CW to kind of make a case of why they did everything wrong here. It's like, so right, Arrow came out first. Arrow became its own thing, then came Flash. So there were 2 series at one point. And like Flash and his own series came into his own thing before they attempted like the crossover. So there were like 2 characters that were already into their own. Here in Book of Boba, like if you want to make a case like, hey, let's kind of put two characters together to make like the feeling that this is the Star Wars universe, they should have made Boba Fett come into his own before actually bringing Mando in. Boba Fett in the series hadn't come into his own.
Let me counter this. The difference between the Flash and the Arrow is, even though they're in the same universe, they're in 2 separate places so far away from each other, at least in the story, that they don't have to meet. In Star Wars, if you watch The Mandalorian or if you watch Boba Fett, you are expected to see characters from the previous Star Wars universe, because that's what people like to see. They like to see the entire Star Wars universe. You don't want to go to the entire Boba Fett without saying Mandalorian, Grogu, Luke, Ahsoka. We all want to see those characters, so that's a bit different. So it makes sense what Grandmaster was saying, why they pulled those characters in. This is not a Boba Fett show, and I'm starting to see and understand that now. It's not a Boba Fett show. It was just a show to start showing that all of those characters are going to start meeting together. Whatever the name is, it doesn't matter. Now that we have Obi-Wan coming out, in 2 months or a month or 2?
Yeah, in May.
Isn't Obi-Wan and Tatooine the same planet that they're on right now?
Except
Obi-Wan is
but it's way in the past.
Yeah.
It's way
Okay,
in the
never
past.
mind.
But
Hold up now. A lot of characters have shown age is just a number. So
age is just a number. Not only that,
terrible.
very terrible
Actually,
analogy. But the characters that appear in Obi-Wan might still feed into that logic.
But that's what I was gonna say. When did Boba Fett get out of the pit? Because if he wasn't the same planet as Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan was in the middle of the desert, it's a possibility he met Obi-Wan.
No.
Obi-Wan's dead.
Obi-Wan's
Okay, so lore
with
wise,
the
he's
Force
gone a long
at that
time
time.
Yeah,
ago.
lore-wise,
Okay.
he's dead. Obi-Wan is
You see,
like
people
literally
don't listen to a non-Star Wars fan. That's what you get.
pre-Death Star. Pre-Death Star is Obi-Wan's dead, and then where he's in the pit, that's like second Death Star was being built and then destroyed.
Okay, so we might see characters that possibly show up in this show that are older, but not the younger-ish characters.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Even then, okay.
Or
But
we
Ahsoka-
see younger versions of older characters.
characters, yeah.
We could,
But like,
we could.
and show like Ahsoka, which is taking place in the same timeline as the 2 current show, it's possible that Boba Fett is gonna leave the planet, and then they might meet up.
For Ahsoka, the assumption is it's taking place at the same time. They haven't said yet when Ahsoka's taking place, because there's a big gap from where we are in the Clone Wars to
Oh shit!
Rebels.
Another
when she appears
flashback
again.
story.
Flashback story.
Let's get back into the van.
From,
the bad.
from Rebels until right where we are right now, like Return of the
Okay,
Jedi
yeah.
era. So, but yes, we have a lot to go with Ahsoka. I'm excited for Ahsoka. That's the one Star Wars show I will say, like, yes, I'm looking very forward to that. Obi-Wan is like, okay, yeah, it's
Ahsoka
Obi-Wan.
is actually maybe the one I'm most excited for.
Exactly. She has a lightsaber. I'm expecting people cuss to fall out. That's what I want to see, Disney.
You just want to
There's
see
so
an
much
R-rated
censoring.
Star Wars. Probably.
Yes,
There's so
you have
much
a
like
lightsaber.
time difference of like, okay, the Ahsoka we see in Mandalorian season 2, I want to see, okay, a little bit like how she got there. Sure, there's like the very young Ahsoka. There's like Ahsoka and Rebels, but like, how did we get from Rebels to this?
Yeah, no, I'm sure
That's a
this
good
series
question.
will.
I
explore-
want to see at least some little like sprinkles, and if it's not like set in that in between period, then give us kind of like a little bit of like a gist of what she was in that time.
Oh, sounds like the Boba Fett.
Like,
Just to
like
give
a
us-
good like flashbacks made right.
Give me a good idea. How many years has it been since Darth Vader practically betrayed everyone and Ahsoka till now? You know, like how many years has it been?
Which betrayal? Because Darth Vader betrayed
one-
people all the time.
It's about
The one where he killed like the kids, Master Anakin,
Master Skywalker.
Skywalker. You're here to save us. Zoom.
it's
I mean, we
about
saw-
it's close to 30 years.
20
plus.
to 30 about.
Because Luke and the start of New Hope is like 17, and then
Right.
those films did the thing where when the movie released like 3 years later, it was like 3 years worth of time has passed,
Okay.
give or take. Because like it took them years to plan to save Han Solo or something. I don't know, but
So right now we
also
know
you
that.
don't build a new Death Star within a month. So
I mean, they have a bunch of
Right.
robots, but I mean, no jokes aside, we know that it's been 20 to 30 years. That 20 to 30 years is blank. Is that correct? We don't know anything about that point for Ahsoka.
No, we do. She appeared in Rebels.
I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah, she did appear in Rebels.
He means
but she had
between Clone Wars and when she appears in Rebels. That 17.
Yeah.
No, there is
time gap.
there is a lot of blank that they can explore with her.
Okay, so that means the Ahsoka actress that we see, they might have to replace her then.
If they
That might not
wanna-
even be the character that we get to see in the show.
If they want to do what she was doing in the past, you'll probably have to get someone else
Okay.
other than Rosario Dawson, because she is the
the
adult.
older, young adult
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
So
So
yeah, they might have to go younger, which would be cool to see too.
Yeah.
So the stories running parallel.
we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll see.
see.
Okay, we'll see.
But yeah, I would say that wraps up what we want to say about the Book of Boba Fett. A lot of mixed feelings, I'm sure. We're all over the place, but all with good intentions. I think we wanted different things from this series.
I wanted blood.
But
Yeah.
some people wanted some unattainable X-rated Star Wars fantasy that was not gonna happen, and some people just wanted a badass Boba Fett, and I totally understand that, because that's just what he. I mean, I like his armor. I always thought he was badass too, just based on his armor. He looks cool. But I don't know. I don't see Disney doing a second season, and the only reason why I say this because usually when shows like this come out, Disney likes to like greenlight the next season like within the couple hours that the series finale airs. At least how they've shown with well, they did it with Star Wars in a way, and they did it with Star Wars, The Mandalorian. They did it with Marvel, Loki as well.
Yeah,
they did it with Falcon and Winter Soldier, where they announced the movie.
Yep.
So and how do you call it? They also did it with What If, but What If was like even before What If ended. So we still don't know about a season 2 at the time that we recorded this, but
the thing is that the Book of Boba, like, this is like my final thought of it. It's like rating that I would give it maybe like a 5.56 out of 10. But it just served more as a purpose to introduce Mandalorian season 3 than actually be its own thing. and they kind of really killed off any potential storylines going forward with Boba. Like with
Right.
Boba.
I would
It's like they kind of they really quickly they wrapped up everything that was really only Boba related, and it was like a happy ending.
I think what they can do moving forward, if they even dare come back to do a Book of Boba Fett season 2, they have no flashbacks to rely on anymore.
Just explore
They-
the character. Don't honestly
they-
let the character come into his own. Be
And
his
that's all we
own
need.
thing.
That's
Be his
all we
own
need.
thing. That's all, because I just felt that they were trying so hard to be the Mandalorian this series. And it's like, no, like it's fine that you can take a couple of things from a series that was a hit. It's fine that you do that. But you have to make this character his own thing. Also, kind of, I know Star Wars fandom is toxic as hell, but you also have to kind of deliver somewhat on the expectations of those fans. Those are the fans that are seeing this series as well. Like
That is
there
true.
is some sort.
Right.
There is some source material for Boba. Like there are a lot of comics and really good comics with regards to Boba. You could have taken a little bit out of that. And it's fine for him to have all these like internal struggles and for him to look kind of human, but don't put him as a pathetic old man throughout this series, which is what they did. And also the writing has to be so much better.
It does. No, it
so
does 100%.
It's
Really,
it's unfortunate because really this series had a lot of potential. I wasn't excited for it, but I was expecting, okay, this series could either be really bad or it can be really good, because Boba Fett is Boba Fett.
right. It was definitely middle of the ground. I'll say.
It was middle of the ground. Like it was middle of the ground because really for me, the characters that saved it were Mando. Like when the episodes that Mando was there were the best episodes, especially 5 and 6, which were the episodes that Boba was barely in the series. I found Boba's character to be so boring. I wasn't invested in his character, in his story. I really had no interest. I was about to
Mondo, I
drop
think you're
this.
beating a dead horse.
Yeah, I was
The
just
horse is dead, Dr. Mondo.
Yeah,
I'm
I gotta
sorry.
confirm it's dead. I gotta check the pulse and
I
everything.
think-
And
It's
that's
been
what I'm doing.
eviscerated.
People-
It's literally ashes.
Right.
There's nothing
the
left.
I think
So,
the people
yeah.
understand your feelings.
Yeah, like 6 out of 10, and just because 5 and 6, really like upped it a little bit. And the action in this episode, don't get me wrong, it was pretty cool. The action was pretty cool, but there were a lot of things that they could have done better, especially Cad Bane. I was pissed at Cad Bane's death. They could, that would have
Fair
been
enough.
a great setup for season 2 of Boba. But killing him off for me was a statement saying Boba Fett's gonna be a one-time gig. That's
I can go next. Initially, it was pretty low. I would have given it like a 4 or a 3, but I give it a good 7 out of 10 because of the point Grandmaster made. He did make a point. This is not a show about Boba Fett. It's a show to connect all the universes. I don't like that idea, but it makes sense. They're trying
It's
to
a
connect the
necessary
universe.
evil.
Yeah, Boba is, again, like I mentioned earlier, is the straight to DVD Lion King 1.5 movie that connects the lore.
You
It's-
gotta
it's-
watch it. You gotta
Yeah.
accept it. You just-
Exactly. This is the chain of memory of the Marvel universe. So-
Hey, there we go.
there we go. It's
There
the
we
chain of
go.
memory. We just have
Just
to fight
as
through it.
important. You can't
Yes.
skip it. You can't
did
skip
not
it.
like did
Good.
not like the game though, but that's another
Good.
story.
7 out of 10, and that's all I have to say.
7 out of 10.
Yeah,
Fair
I'm gonna.
enough.
I'm a 7 out of 10 too. I would like to. Now that we talked about it more, these are my final thoughts. They had 5 episodes they made, and they said we can't just bring you all the finale that features Mando and Grogu without giving you some background as to what they were doing. And they inserted the first 2 episodes of season 3 in there. But with that said, I stand by what I said. They're trying to create an established universe similar to the CW shows and the MCU. And with that, if that's their goal, I think they're doing a really good job. These 5 episodes that were Boba featured may not have been, the best, but I see the groundwork and I can only see it going up from here. So I'm excited to see season 3 of Mando, the Ahsoka show, and I very much like to see Boba Fett make appearances in those before getting a season 2. I'm good. I see what they're doing. All faith in Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. All faith in them.
Ooh, all the chips on their table. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough. 7 out of 10 seems about my score too. But we'll wait and see what we got from Disney Star Wars in the near future. Only got 2 months until the Obi-Wan show, and I guess we can do comparisons from there. Is Jon Favreau the only saving grace of the Star Wars mythos, or is there some other talent at Disney that can also bring some magic or some force powers to the big screen? We'll wait and see there. But with that, everyone, that wraps up this week's episode of the Yonko Table for the finale of the Book of Boba Fett. Let us know what you all think in the comments below. Did you dislike this episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the entire season of Boba Fett? What were your likes, dislikes? Let us know in the comments below. Wherever you hear us, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, at the Yonko Table. So give us a shout out, give us a like, and take care, everyone. I'm your Yonko host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonko GrandMasterHoop, and Supernovas Toasty and DrMondo. Signing off, guys. Take care.